Welcome to San Juan Islands Community Network. Today we're hearing from Dr. Alexandra Gayek. She's been a naturopathic physician for 25 years and has a background in ecology and environmental education. Hi, Alexandra. It's nice to have you today.
Thanks, Heather. Nice to be here.
We've all heard the saying, when nature calls, but today nature is calling for help, and you've been engaged with this on a community level. Can you tell us about it and what you're learning?
It's been an awesome process. Here we are with all these policymakers together with everyone else trying to grapple with this huge problem of climate change. What are we going to do about it with all these competing interests and limited funds and everybody worried about how it's going to affect them? How will climate change affect them? How will this or that solution affect them? Everybody wanting to be happy and free, but facing climate change, realizing that it looks like some of the very things we've been doing to be happy and feel free are going to be our undoing.
So, where are the areas where you see room for solutions to move forward?
It seems to me that it would be really helpful if we redefine the problem in four ways. One is to understand that climate change is really just a symptom of the destruction of nature itself. So if we shift our attention to recognizing when nature's in balance, the CO2 emissions match the carbon sequestration, et cetera. That's what makes it stable. So when nature's out of balance, we wind up with this big gap. And so we need to deal with both ends of the gap to solve the problem. When we understand what nature actually is, the interdependent, regenerative, self regulating, evolving web of living beings, and the sun and the earth and the moon and the air and the water and the land and the minerals, all the physical forces, all those things that create and maintain the climate as we know it, the conditions for life. It's a closed system that leaves no waste. And then, third, we need to understand and use language that we're part of it. When we say the environment, we reinforce the idea of separation. It's over there, somewhere, it's competing with me. So we need to really recognize we're part of it. And then, in redefining the problem, we also need to see our solutions differently, that we need to restore and protect the system itself and mimic it with regenerative practices to restore what's been damaged and destroyed and leave no waste. In the end, we've got to look at not just the dollar cost of our solutions, but the cost to nature itself, and recognize that our happiness and freedom really requires that nature itself be intact and balanced and healthy, and understand that we have to do something that has never been done before on the massive global scale that we need to do it.
And how is that connecting with our current system? Does our current system have a way to accommodate for this?
Yeah, I see it as, what's our role as citizens? How do we play a part? And it seems to me if we acknowledge that we're part of nature, we also need to acknowledge that we're part of the solution, that we can't just sit on the sidelines. So we have these opportunities, including in working directly with policymakers to help craft the language so that they've got documents that they can stand on and point to and aren't just subject to the way all the competing demands show up, that they're trying to please everybody. Instead, we wind up with a situation where we see that democracy itself can be a beautiful experience, which is one of the things I've really learned in this process, where it sometimes seems really slow and painful and cumbersome, but when people work together and trust one another that we're all working for a solution here, what I'm seeing is that I'm evolving in my own thinking, and the other people I'm watching are evolving in their thinking. We're building community. We wind up helping the policymakers, who are people just like us, come up with new perspectives. We wind up with ownership in the policy that's created, and we understand it better. It's more likely to incorporate everybody's needs, and we're more likely to accomplish what we set out to do.
Thanks for those great insights, Alexandra, and for shedding some light on this critical activity that needs to happen at this point in time. You seem very energized and that you've picked up a wealth of knowledge that's kind of giving back to you as much as you're giving of yourself. And as though nature is energizing you through your own recognition of it. And I'll bet there's a mathematical expression for that, but perhaps it's most likely better just simply experienced.
Yeah, in my experience, when I've actually reminded myself oh, this is what it is. I fall in love. Nature is just this incredible, magnificent, amazing thing that when you really understand it, you can see how it's all a continuum. We really are all completely connected.
Great. Thanks so much, Alexandra, for joining us at
My pleasure.
SJICN, and we hope to see you again.
Thanks.